Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good morning, CaneSport. It's September the 5th, 2024. I'm Gary Ferman, the publisher of CaneSport.com. Joined once again by our managing editor, Matt Shodell, as we discuss the news of the day, presented today by Caneswear, your destination for all your hurricane merchandise needs. If you need some gear for Saturday to take to the stadium, if you need to tailgate, you go to Caneswear. They've got you covered. No matter what you need, they have it. We'll talk a little bit more about Caneswear and Caneswear.com later in the show. And by GameTime.co, your destination for all your ticket needs for any event around the year, but particularly during football season. I know a lot of you guys are spread around the country. GameTime.co will take care of you when it comes time to buy tickets for your next sporting event, or like I said, concerts, theater, you name it. GameTime.co has you covered. So, Matt, we so much going on. Our coverage is just endless. We're not going to be able to talk about every single story, but we've had a lot of time here the last few days to do some analysis of what exactly happened on the field on Saturday in Gainesville. And one thing I really wanted to focus on today for a moment was a story that we have on the website about the tight ends and how the tight ends were welcomed back into the Miami offense. And in this game, and Arroyo obviously got to do quite a bit. We saw Cam McCormick score a touchdown, but Arroyo he was targeted 4 times, had 4 receptions for 89 yards, just a big game. And then McCormick had, like I mentioned, had the 9-yard touchdown reception. We saw Elijah Lofton get involved with a couple catches in the game. So there is no question that the tight end is going to be a part of this offense this year, and justifiably so.
Yes, that's correct. I mean, we know what we saw. The film breakdown just sort of showed the intricacies of how Shannon Dawson frees up tight ends. Even a guy like Cam McCormick, who has 2 bricks attached to his forearms, is able to make plays in Shannon Dawson's offense. That's how good Shannon Dawson is. That one touchdown, for instance, was a typical tight end pretending he's blocking and then goes out for a route. But what Shannon Dawson did there, which was you could read it and see it, is he put I think it was Isaiah Horton on the left hash and had him doing a cross. And then Cam, after he fakes, is coming underneath. And they both time it perfectly to where the safety is behind both of them and doesn't really recognize whether the ball is going to Horton or to McCormick. He can't see the quarterback through both of them, and through a cornerback, obviously, is covering Horton as well, coming through there. So by the time he reacts, it's too late, and McCormick's 2 steps ahead of him. Easy touchdown. And I'm sorry, it was Horton was going to the left corner to clear out the strong side linebacker. Whoever was crossing, it might have been Restrepo. I can't remember who was crossing, but you can watch the video. They had one receiver going across, McCormick here coming across this way, and then Horton's just clearing out the linebacker, the strong side linebacker, who would have been in the spot where McCormick was heading to. Just a brilliantly designed play for a tight end. And the key to all these plays is pass protection. If you give a quarterback the kind of time that Cam Ward has, and Cam Ward has the kind of ability that Cam Ward has, this is going to happen every single week of the season. They will be unstoppable. So it's going to be really interesting to see, now that other teams see how Shannon Dawson's using Cam Ward and the variety of plays. I don't think Miami held much back against Florida, quite honestly, because they prepared 3 weeks of fall camp. Well, 2.5 weeks of fall camp was just 1 game preparation. I mean, they put everything into this game. They knew they had to win this game. They lose this game, their season's over. Everyone knew that, right? I mean, it would have been a disaster. They don't have another real game for a month and a half. People would have been calling for Mario Cristobal to be fired. What's wrong with this team? He can't fix the program. This was Mario Cristobal's career on a plate, basically. And to some extent, Shannon Dawson's also, right? Because he was not good last year. And now people can just say, hey, it was Tyler Van Dyke, not Shannon Dawson, right? Based on 1 game. but I think that's fair because this one game was so extraordinary. And you can see how Shannon Dawson's offense can function when everything falls into place. Now, the defense was totally confused, had no idea what was going on, of course. But it's like I was trying to allude to earlier, really going to be interesting to see now how really good defensive coordinators in the ACC try to dial things up based on what they saw happen at Florida, right? Because Miami's not going to show a lot against FAMU. They don't have to. They don't have to show much more the next couple of games. Even USF, that's not going to be a close game, okay? So until Virginia Tech, there's not going to be a lot of new film, I don't think, that Shannon Dawson's going to want to show anybody of other things he may be doing. But at the same time, every defensive coordinator right now is gunning for Miami, right? Miami's the team right now to beat in the ACC. And every defense coordinator is already thinking as they go to sleep and they're eating dinner with their kids, wives, whatever, like, how do I stop Cam Ward? And the answer is going to be get pressure. Now, the question is, how do you get pressure? Is it even possible to get pressure?
The offensive line playing the way it does, yeah.
Right, and you saw Miami didn't even go match protect that much. They would leave a tight end in once in a while, and Damian Martinez would get a chip block here and there, but Martinez was going out for routes too. He wasn't sitting there max protect all the time. Right. So Cam Ward, understanding what the defense is trying to do to him, he'll also get the ball out quicker when he notices pressure coming. And if Miami's playmakers can make plays one-on-one, then those defensive coordinators are going to have to back off, right? And then Cam Ward has all day again. So really the whole key to the whole season to me for Miami's offense to keep scoring 35-plus points a game on average for the first time since 2002 is keep him clean. His uniform was not dirty at the end of the game. I don't think there was a speck of dirt on it. There was 2 late hits, but it was a clean uniform. And if that keeps on happening and other defense coordinators can't figure out how to get pressure on Cam Ward, then I will adjust my prediction from 10-2 to 12-0 because I don't see any way Miami won't be outscoring every single team if they're not able to get to Cam Ward because he's just that good when he has time to throw and figure things out. And even if the pocket breaks down and he's had time, a gap will come up in front over those 3 or 4 seconds. He'll be able to scramble away over those 3 or 4 seconds. And then, who was it? There was a player yesterday who said it's backyard football, right? I think it was Elijah Arroyo. He says, Cam Ward gets out of the pocket. It's fun. It's backyard football. Players prefer backyard football, apparently, to Shannon Dawson's scheme because I believe Elijah Arroyo was the one who said it. And he said, it's backyard football. It's fun, which implies that regular football is not fun. I don't know. That would be the inverse, converse, reverse. Anyway, so listen, there's so many different weapons, and tight ends certainly now finally one of them. They only had 18 less yards in this game as a tight ends group than the entire tight ends unit over the entire 2023 season.
That's an unbelievable.
18 less yards in one game than an entire season of the entire tight ends group. That's insane.
It's insane. Yeah, I mean, just amazing. So we have a story on the website today with Arroyo for you guys to check out. If you haven't seen the analysis of the tight ends that we have with video to support a lot of the points being made and stuff, make sure you check that out, as well as all of our film studies this week. If you haven't seen them, it will give you a lot of insight into the team for sure. But I thought that the tight end being absent from the offense last year was a bigger deal than anybody really made it. People were distracted by Tyler Van Dyke's struggles throughout the year and didn't really focus in on the fact that the tight end was hardly being used at all. Like Matt said, they've already got almost the same amount of yardage as they had a year ago. It's not like Shannon Dawson doesn't like to use tight ends. I mean, if you look back to when he was at Houston in 2021, his tight end Christian Trahan had 37 catches that year for 398 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, he's no Arroyo, okay? Arroyo, I believe, will put up better stats than even that. But it shows us that Dawson will use the tight end. And Trahan had 23 receptions for fewer yards, 237 in 2022. But like we said last year, Matt, the tight end was absolutely invisible. So it's very refreshing to see that back in the Miami offense. Also on the website today, we have a story with Cam Ward. And then, of course, everything's going on revolving around Cam Ward. The Davey O'Brien folks honored him as the quarterback of the week yesterday. And he's really the talk of the country. He's at the top of Heisman polls now. And people were just captivated by what they saw from Cam Ward. So we had a chance to speak with him today, and he covered a number of topics. He obviously talked about the positive side of the game. But Matt, the thing that I loved was that he also was looking at things where he can continue to get better and his team could continue to get better. And you know that even though they're playing FAMU this week, that Cam Ward has everybody still working hard in practice.
Yeah, it was funny. I think the first question he was asked was, what are some of the positives and negatives for you that came out of the first game? And all he said was the positives. He says the positives, and then he starts rattling off the things that he thinks went wrong. He could have done this read better. He could have done this and scrambled here, and there was a couple of drops. Those were positives to him because it means they can still get better. He sort of turned the whole question on his head, which I absolutely love because I'm a negative person too, Cam. I am the Cam Ward of reporters. You ask me for positive things, I'm going to tell you bad things and say they're bad because if something good happens, it'll make you feel better, right? That's my whole mantra. Cam Ward and I are on the same playing field, people. So for those of you that complain about me, go ahead and complain about the Heisman winner, all right? Because we are one and the same in our mentalities. Everything's always awful. And you know what? It does make you work harder when you think, if you can convince yourself and I maybe pass a lie detector test about how bad Miami played, then, the sky's the limit, right? Because you keep working hard. You're not good enough. Everyone's still doubting you. When you sit back and say, oh, now I'm a first-round draft pick, I just don't want to get hurt. When that kicks in, that's when you lose games, man. And there is none of that, and it will not happen with Cam Ward because that's not the type of person he is. And I love that he's a guy who, he says he's a second Division I athlete to come out of his high school, whatever. He wasn't recruited, man. He had to beg to get a spot at the one school that took him because he ran a wing T in high school. He never passed the ball. And Immaculate Ward took a chance on him. And he was an immediate star there, spent 2 years in obscurity of sorts at Immaculate Ward, and then transferred to Washington State for 2 years where, again, the team was not good. He was not in the national spotlight at all, even though he was really, really good, because the team was bad. They had a losing record last year with Cam Ward at quarterback. You know how hard that is to do now that you've seen him play at Miami, right? And now he says it's amazing in a big market the kind of attention he gets. He says because he didn't do anything different in this game than he did at Washington State. That's what he said yesterday, even though, people seem to think that he did do some things different and progress. Like the NFL scouts say, we haven't seen tape like that. But according to Cam Ward, this is how he's been playing all along. But the point is a guy who wasn't recruited, who had to fight to get a spot, even to play football. If Immaculate Ward doesn't offer him a scholarship, Cam Ward is, doing whatever right now, but he's not playing football. Right? He would not have had a scholarship at a program. That was the only school that offered him a scholarship. He would not, this future would not have happened. The parallel universe would have kicked in. And who knows what would have happened to him, college degree, and then wherever you go after that. So guys like that tend to always remember. It was just 5 years ago for him. 5 years ago, he was a nobody who nobody cared about and nobody recruited and nobody wanted. So now when people are coming to him like, oh, you're the best. Oh, you're the greatest. Oh, everyone wants you to, to do this and to do that. It's like, no, man, where were you 5 years ago? When you grow up and everyone's telling you how great you are from age 8, when you're running past everyone in Pop Warner, to age 10, to age 12, to age 10, every year, everyone's, you're amazing. You're the best. They're all looking out for you, right? The teachers are letting you slack in class because, oh, he has a game today. Go to the lunchroom. Go hydrate. Skip class. You don't need to be here. Whatever. You just won the game. You get the day off from school. Whatever. Hurrah, hurrah. That never happened to Cam Ward. He had to fight for every inch, and he has not forgotten that clearly because any I don't know, any praise he got yesterday, he was like, what are you even talking about? Like, what? I'm just here to play football and work. Like, I don't even understand what people are talking about. Heisman, first-round draft pick? Like, dude, 5 years ago, I almost was just like a college student trying to get a degree, So those guys tend to never lose focus. That's why I'm not worried about Cam Ward at all. Gary Ferman, I'm more worried about, honestly, than Cam Ward at this point.
Yeah, well, Gary Ferman will tell you this. He's not an incarnate Ward anymore. And, he's at Miami now, and it's a much bigger stage with much better talent than he's ever had in his career. And no, this is not the same as what he did at Washington State. That was the best football game on Saturday that Cam Ward has ever played in his life. And people noticed, the NFL certainly noticed him. They noticed Restrepo too, by the way. Restrepo climbed up some draft boards on Saturday as well. And if he can just run in the 4.5s after the season's over and they have the combines and the workouts, Restrepo, could be a 3rd, 4th round draft pick now, which was not the case coming into the season, even though he's done good things in the past. The NFL just wasn't, overwhelmed with his speed, but, he has become better. I know we're used to him doing well, but his routes are better. His physicality, his athleticism is better than it's ever been because he works hard at it every single day. So,
by the way, are you done with your little soliloquy there? You keep going. I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead. Finish that and I'll tell you.
Go ahead. You're good.
Oh, so this is my DJ OTD of the day. Okay. I heard, I don't know if it's true, but I heard that they're renaming Incarnate Word into Reincarnate Ward. That's my DJ OTD of the day. Do you even want to know what that stands for, Gary? I guess not. It's my dad joke. It's my dad joke of the day. DJ OTD. Terrible jokes.
Okay. Can we continue now?
Now you can continue.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So we've got a story with, Cam Ward talking about all of this, and he just graded out spectacularly, but it was a big day for him, like I was saying. And no, it was not the same as Washington State. Also on the website today, we catch up once again with Mario Cristobal. It's always great once the season starts because we get, we go from never getting to speak to Mario Cristobal to getting to hear from Mario Cristobal at least 2-3 times, maybe 4 times during the course of the week. And he's so good with the media and always has such great things to say.
You made your own DTOTJ. That was a good one. That he's always great with the media. That was funny. That might be the funniest thing you ever said. Very good humor. Very good. He said it with a straight face. You said with a straight face, you're like, Mario's always great with the media. I mean, that was classic Ferman.
If he would just talk more often, like he's really good and he's a great salesman for his program. I think that he should make himself available much more often than he does during the offseason. It's a rare treat to get to talk to Mario Cristobal, but now that the season's here, we get him more. He talks about, keeping everybody looking to improve, coming off the big win at UF, and a lot of other topics. So make sure you check that story out on the website today.
By the way, the Jacoby George thing he said was pretty interesting. I don't know if you saw that or not, but how somebody punched Jacoby and Jacoby just went back to the bench, and that they gave him a big rah-rah speech afterwards in the team meetings because he didn't explode and start murdering people. I mean, isn't that what you're just supposed to do? Like, don't single a guy out for doing the thing you taught him to do for 3 years that he wouldn't do for 2 years. What about all the other guys on the team that have been doing it right every single day? Like, because Jacoby's a head case, he gets the praise and, let's have a party for Jacoby George. He didn't punch anybody or try to murder somebody. Like, that's great. Yay. No, man. The culture's the culture, Mario. How you do anything is how you do everything. Don't single out one guy who's always messing up for doing the right thing once. Single out everybody who's always doing it right. Also, if you're going to do that, man, come on. Jeez.
Are you done?
That's my rant of the day.
You done?
I just gotta I have to do something to make people hate me and try to get me off this show. So I'm hoping that will be enough to get the message boards going, and they'll be like, "Get rid of Shodell. I'm never watching again." Da da da. And then I could freaking get off of this stupid thing. That's what I'm. That's why I do these.
Let's take a moment to hear from someone that does everything right all the time for the Canes fan, and that's Caneswear.
Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Home opener this weekend. No better time to go check out Caneswear, where they have the largest selection of Miami Hurricanes gear in town, more gear than you could ever imagine. And we're talking T-shirts, jerseys, polos, hats, hoodies, flags, decals, magnets, baby stuff. You can shop for men, women, the kids, even your pets. You can get your dog a hurricane outfit if you would like. Whatever you need, Caneswear has it for you. They even have gear for the Dolphins, the Panthers, Inter Miami Soccer. there's no better time than now to get stocked up for this new season. And if you need tailgate stuff for Saturday at Hard Rock, they could take care of you there too. They have chairs, all different types of tailgate equipment for you to shop at CaneSport. So it's more than a store, it's an experience. And you can visit them at 2655 South University Drive in Davie. It's right next to La Spada Sub Shop. So if you're going to Hard Rock Saturday, you want food and you want gear, you can knock them both off on one trip. Go to CaneSport and then jump into La Spada Subs. I don't know why I give them so much pub. I like their subs. Maybe that's why. But if you can't get to CaneSport, they're always open at CaneSport.com. So visit the store, 2655 South University Drive in Davie, or go to CaneSport.com for all your Miami Hurricane needs. And if you're going to the game and you need tickets, you don't have your tickets yet, you haven't bought them from the Canes ticket office, well, there's no better place to shop for tickets for the FAMU game and every other game this year, or if you're around the country, any other event or game that you might go to, then GameTime.co. And Game Time has a new feature this year called Game Time Picks, and that makes getting tickets for your favorite events even easier. They filter out all of the fluff from the process, and they show you only incredible deals on great seats. So you don't have to waste all kinds of time searching for thousands of tickets that don't really apply to what you need. And they have curated deals to make it easier to find the best price on the great seats. They have last minute deals on tickets right up to the start of the event. Even an hour after it starts, you could still get tickets. So, let's say you have lunch. Well, you can't have lunch with Matt Shodell because he'll be working on the game. But, let's say you have lunch at, 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock or whatever, and you're tied up and you can't make it for the first quarter, but you still want to go to the game. You don't have tickets. You can go to GameTime.co and get your tickets. You can see the view from your seat through their seat view functions. They have zone deals where you pick the section and Game Time picks the seats for big savings. If you have something that comes up and let's say the event gets canceled, for example, they will give you protection for that. But more than anything, if you have an emergency, let's say you lose your job, they will guarantee your ticket purchase. If you need a refund, Game Time has you covered in those scenarios. So take the guesswork out of buying your tickets to games, concerts, theater, and download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code ON3 on your first purchase. They will give you $20 off. So that's the Game Time app or GameTime.co. Use the code ON3. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. You can buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps at Game Time. So download Game Time today to get your last minute tickets. Your lowest price is guaranteed. What time is it? It's game time.
What if a ticket is only like $8 to a Miami Hurricanes versus whoever basketball game? Do they give you $12 back? Like, do they mail you a check?
No, you won't get $12 back.
It's a free ticket.
Save the code for when the tickets are more expensive is what I would recommend in that situation. When I said what time is it, you thought I was going to say Shodell time, didn't you?
No.
I know that's I know that's what you're thinking. All right, let's talk about a few more things that are on the website this morning. We've got a story with Mish Powell. He gives us sort of the defensive perspective of what's going on. He says that a lot of players on this team are flying under the radar right now. They can be playmakers moving forward, and we are expecting to see all of them on Saturday against FAMU. You don't want to count your chickens before they hatch, but it is important that Miami take care of business in this game, get the starters out of there, and give a lot of the young kids a chance to play this week because they're going to need some of these guys during the season. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But Matt, he points to guys like O.J. Frederick, Popo Aguirre, Justin Scott, Josh Horton, Jadeus Richard, Bobby Pruitt, Zaquan Patterson as guys that he sees that can make plays. So, I think we need to see all these guys on the field a lot this weekend.
I mean, I asked him the best question out of everybody, but he just didn't really want to answer it. I mentioned how he was at Washington last year, right, where obviously the team had to stay focused the whole year. They made the national championship game, right? So at some point during the season, they're like, wow, we're really good. We're cruising. And they had to stay focused and on task, which he was a part of. And he's really the only Miami Hurricanes player who had to deal with that. It was just the first game, right? So, I asked him just sort of about that experience and if he sort of sees that same type of mentality starting to grow at Miami. And he just didn't really answer the question. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But I'll just keep asking him the same question. I don't care. He doesn't know I have no shame. I will keep asking him the exact word-for-word question every single time he's available the rest of the year until he actually gives me a good answer.
But I got to tell you, I love Mish Powell, man. He has been just what the doctor ordered for the secondary stabilizer, and the guy that really benefits from his presence is Jaden Harris, the other safety, who had a phenomenal game. Was actually the ACC Defensive Back of the Week. We have a story with him. He talks to us about how his film preparation for the game helped him play fast out there. And you guys can check that out on the website.
By the way, just so people know, I don't know how they pick the ACC Player of the Week, but what I do know is that Miami lobbies the ACC to have their players get that award. So I don't know what the hell they said about Jaden Harris. Like, I thought he was fine. I don't think he dropped an interception. He fell down and probably shouldn't have had the second interception. He just got sort of lucky on that one. And like I know he wasn't blamed for the long touchdown run, but he certainly could have been in better position. He was out of position to start that play, in my opinion, based on watching the film over and over again, because I just love watching terrible plays against Miami. No, that was a joke, everybody, okay? But that's true. He was out of position. And like, I didn't honestly notice him that much other than that. I mean, he had a couple of good plays, in the backfield, I guess. But like, ACC Player of the Week, great. But that's Miami lobbying the ACC, because the ACC needs a team right now that will be a national name team. And it's not Clemson after Georgia, and it's not Florida State. So right now, as crazy as it sounds, the ACC is desperate for Miami to be the answer nationally. The ACC desperately needs a team like Miami to be 10-2, 11-1 in the playoffs. Excitement. They need the money. They need the revenue from being in the playoffs. They need the acclaim of their conference and not having the conference just be awful, where now FSU beat Miami, where, oh my God, Georgia Tech beat Miami. Like, what is going on? I know Gary Ferman's a big fan of parity and how great that'll make the conference. I got news for Ferman. No, it's not true. It wasn't true when you said it, like I told you, and it's still not true today. Miami's the hope for this conference. And you saw the ACC refs at that SEC game the other night helping Miami all they freaking could. And this will be the first year fans ever see ACC refs help Miami. It also might be the last year it happens, but the ACC refs are on Miami's side today, tomorrow, and through the end of the season, because Miami is the ACC right now, which is fantastic for us.
I totally agree with you. And it didn't show up like in crazy penalties on the Gators and stuff like that.
Yes, it did. That late hit, the first late hit wasn't really a late hit, quite honestly. Easily could have gone. And there was a late hit the other way that they didn't call, which was much worse, honestly. They didn't call against Miami. So it wasn't like Miami killed them to the point it didn't even make a difference at the end. But it should have been a field goal instead of that third and long. It was a bang, sort of pushed him down. That in a normal NFL game, that's not called. That's just not called,
You know where I saw it the most was with all the celebration that went on. All the gestures, all the celebration that often would have drawn.
Individual celebration is not allowed. Team celebration is. You're correct. I mean,
but there were a couple of those that might have been
who cares? We've earned it as Miami fans, right? As the Miami culture, we've earned it from how many years now of refs just flagging everything against Miami and not flagging it on the other team, right? So what comes around goes around. Yeah, it's fine. We've earned it.
There's no doubt about it. I don't think we're going to be complaining about the refs this year. Matt is correct. Miami clearly is the ACC team this year that has the most potential to do damage and represent the conference in a reasonable way in the college football playoff. And Miami, I would like to think, will get their fair shot with the refs that they've ever gotten since they joined the ACC. And it hasn't always been great in that regard. By the way, I'm talking about all these stories we have. If you like this show, like this channel, hit your subscribe and like buttons. It helps us with the algorithms at YouTube and growing our audience. But more than anything, please head on over to CaneSport.com. If you're not yet a subscriber, we would like to bring this is going to be one hell of a season, folks. And we would like to bring the whole fan base together at CaneSport.com. We do everything we can do every single day to enhance your fan experience. So if you're not yet a subscriber, please come on over, join our community of fans. I don't think you will be sorry. Also on the site today, we have an analysis looking at FAMU. And listen, FAMU is going to be overmatched, but they have a very good team. And, they have
for their level, they have a very good team.
Yeah,
but they're a good high school. I mean, if you're playing IMG Academy, well, they already lost. But if you were playing the top high school team in the country, is it they have a really good team? No, Miami's going to win this by 40 plus
they've
points.
Won 21 in a row at home, which is pretty good. They're coming off
a lot of high school teams. I'm not saying they're a high school team, but it's such a different level. Miami wins this by 40 going away. Give me a break.
Well, there's not even a line on the game. So
there you go. There you go.
Yeah, that is what people are anticipating. But we do talk a little bit about FAMU today. And guess who's on the team? You'll remember this name. Thaddeus Franklin plays running back.
I like Thaddeus a lot. I mean, he's super nice, chill, good guy. I'm gonna root for him. If they score, if somehow FAMU scores 2 or 3 touchdowns, I hope they all go to Thaddeus. He deserves it. He's had a rough road, man.
Well, and it's gonna be nice for him to come home and get to play at Hard Rock, and I'm sure I'll have a pretty sizable contingent of fans there on Saturday for sure. All right, we also have a few recruiting stories on the site today. You can catch up on top 25 2026 wide receiver Calvin Russell from Miami Northwestern. This kid can flat play. He tells us how the Canes definitely showed him something with their blowout of Florida. So you can get an update on where he stands. We also have a story on Swanee, Georgia, Collins Hill, 2026 4-star tight end, Deuce Geralds. He's the number 84 overall prospect in the 2026 rankings. He also plays defensive line, so you can check up on that today. And we also have a story on defensive back Timothy Merritt. He's being recruited by Miami out of the state of Alabama and is in consistent communication with quarterback coach Chavez Jackson and a lot of other Cane staffers. So check up on that story and get an update on Merritt. So that's going to do it for today for Good Morning CaneSport, a.k.a. the Matt Shodell Comedy Hour. For him, I'm Gary Ferman. Thank you so much for starting out your day with us today, and we will see you next time, everybody. Have a good one.